Alright, so today we're going to make a shapes project called Cityscapes. So to start with, what I have here is I've opened up the Cityscapes folder here off of the desktop, and I'm going to grab one of these cities that I want to work with. We're going to do the Miami image right here. Of course, you can pick whichever one you like. You've got to remember to grab the picture, drag it down, and drop it on top of your Photoshop CS4 icon. Don't just double click the picture because it won't open in Photoshop correctly. So here I have my image. Okay. What we want to do here is we're going to start by making a background color to go over this and give us something to work on top of. So we're going to make a new layer, new layer. I'm going to call this sky. Now I'm going to go down here under the paint bucket, grab my gradient tool. Now this gradient I've got here is multicolored. I don't really want that. So I'm going to click down and I'm going to fly out right here. I'm going to go down here to simple. I want simple gradients. Okay. Now I'm going to find one that's kind of close to what I have here in the sky. This is fairly close, so I'm going to pick that. Except even this is not exactly what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click right inside of the actual bar. If I double click right here, now what I can do is if I click these little color stops, I'm going to double click that color stop, and now I want my lighter color of the sky from here. So I'll go way down here. That's good. Then the darker color of the sky here. Okay. Darker color here. It's this one. Whoop, I got the lighter color again. Light one there. Ah, now I'll click OK over there. Now you click the darker one here. Grab that there. Tell it OK here. Now OK here. Now when I draw my gradient, it should look very similar to this sky. Let's make sure I do it the right way. Yep, there we go. Now what I want to do is make this sky opaque. So I'll go over here, let's expand this a little. I'll go over here to my opacity, slide this way down. Now I can see the buildings behind. So now I'm ready to start making some shapes. I'll go over here to my shape editor. I want to make sure that here I have shape layers and I'm on square, rectangle. And now I want to adjust my color. I'm going to start with probably this building here. So I'm going to use the eyedropper you see, and I'm just going to grab this kind of bluish purple color here. Tell it OK. And now I'm going to make my shape. I'm going to get as close as I can, but it's not going to be perfect right off the bat. It's not too bad. But I want to move this shape so it's a little bit closer to exactly what I want. I'm going to up this so you can see it a little better. Now, I'm going to go to the Move tool, or the M key. I'm going to click the shape that I want to alter. Now I'm going to hold down the Command key on my keyboard, hover over this little box here on the edge, and watch how I can tweak this to more exactly fit the shape of this building, which is really more of like a parallelogram than it is an actual rectangle. I can get it to go really right where I want it. Like so. Again, I'm just holding down the Command key. Now when I'm done, I want to make sure I get off of this layer. So I can either click on the sky layer, or I can go select, deselect. Of course, it's not going to let me do that. You know what? I have to tell it I'm done making this adjustment. So we'll click the arrow, tell it apply. Now I'll go select, deselect layers, Now I can make another shape. So I'm going to click my shape tool again. I'm going to grab a new color, this lighter purple this time. And now I'm going to drag across this area here. Again, it's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to do my shift again, command key, and I'm going to make this more what the building actually looks like, kind of like so. Then I hit the arrow, tell it to apply. Now, if I crank up my sky layer, you'll see it starts to get sort of a three-dimensional shape. And that's kind of what we're going for. You'll go through and you'll make these shapes all for all the buildings in whichever one you choose. Obviously, you don't have to make all rectangles or squares. You might make some triangles up here at the top. You might make some little circles for some of these things. You might also want to come down here and make a layer or a color for this water to build on top of, something like so. And then you can edit this, maybe even put a gradient into it. Think about your different options, include all the details, include the bridge, include the little light poles and things like that if you can. It's a big project. It's going to take you a while. Sit back, enjoy it, have fun, make it look good.